Loose change in a desk drawer.
For 30-plus years, this baggie just sat around?
Yes.
Inside a fabled coin.
It was a unicorn, talked about but never seen.
A rare coin that could bring in millions of dollars at auction this spring.
Sounds like ka-ching.
One coin potentially worth $2 million?
1 penny.
But then the government flips.
They're coming after you.
They are.
I'm Jamie Colby, and today I am cruising oceanside in beautiful La Jolla, California, just north of San Diego. I'm on my way to meet an heir whose strange inheritance stunned the coin-collecting world, then led to a showdown with Uncle Sam.
My name is Randy Lawrence. I inherited a baggie of coins from my father, who worked at the Denver Mint. Imagine a shiny penny, but instead of being copper-colored, it's silver. That was one of the coins my dad left me, and it turned my life upside down.
Hi, Randy. I'm Jamie.
Hello, nice to meet you.
So great to meet you, too. And I heard that your inheritance came in a small plastic bag?
It did.
Randy shows me in, sits me down, and hands me a baggie full of coins. Well, they can't be very valuable, I guess, if they're still sitting here in a Ziploc.
Well, those particular ones aren't necessarily, but there was one in that bag that was quite valuable.
Where is it? Can I see it?
Well, I don't have it.
Huh?
There's a little bit of a story.
It's the story of Randy's dad, Harry Lawrence, who grows up near Denver, takes a shine to engineering, and studies metallurgy at the Colorado School of Mines. After serving in the Army Corps of Engineers during World War II, Harry heads to Chicago, where he lands a job as a foreman at a smelting plant. Sweltering work, but not nearly as hot as the time Harry spends hanging around the water cooler.
That's where he met my mother. She was a receptionist, and he was a manager, and she was much younger and very pretty, and I think she just made him work for it.
And he won.
And he won.
Randy's the second of 2 boys. In 1960, when he's 3, his dad accepts a job at the U.S. Mint in Denver, packs up the family, and heads west.
It was a dream job for him because it was bringing him back to Colorado.
Was it pretty prestigious to have a father who worked at the Denver Mint?
I felt it was. On the schoolyard, when other children would ask me, well, what's your dad do? He makes money. They said, well, no, really, what's he do? No, he makes money.
Randy's dad loves the precision that goes into minting the nation's coins. But as with any perfectionist, it's the flaws that really catch his eye.
He had a bag full of these coins, and there was a few of these error coins in there.
What is an error coin?
An error coin is one that was misstruck at the mint. So it didn't land correctly in the press, and therefore it might be off-center or the edge might be curled.
This is a pretty interesting penny, but it looks like 2 pennies.
Michael McConnell is a La Jolla coin shop owner who knows all about error coins.
It's simply a penny that was struck twice. It got stuck in the press, and it got struck again.
Randy's father collects the error coins that he finds in a plastic baggie that he keeps at home in a drawer.
So when you work for the Mint and they misstrike a coin, they let you take it home?
Well, I guess so. There are many error coins out there that are bought and sold every day.
Randy's mistaken about that. Taking home error coins is illegal, but apparently ignored sometimes, at least in his dad's day. So it's quite possible that when Harry retires from the Mint in 1980, his bosses do say he can keep his error coins. A retirement gift, Harry explains. What's Harry's plan for them? No way to know. Just 6 months later, he dies of a heart attack at the age of 60.
I'm so sorry. He was young.
Yes, very young. It was a shame that he didn't get to enjoy his retirement.
Did he leave a will?
He did.
Did he reference the coins in any way?
I got the bag of coins. My brother got a set of guns. My father collected guns as well.
Randy has zero interest in coin collecting and tosses his inheritance in his desk drawer. For the next 3 decades, he says he forgets all about it. Until he moves from Denver to La Jolla, and one day is checking out the new neighborhood.
I walked into Michael's coin shop, La Jolla Coin.
Yep, that Michael. Before long, the coin dealer will be on the scent of a fortune. That's next.
But first, our strange inheritance quiz question. U.S. coins have mint marks, P, D, S, and W, designating the locations where they're made. Can you name all 4? Extra credit if you know what the government makes at the W location. The answers after the break. So what do the P, D, S, and W stand for on U.S. coins? P is for the Philadelphia Mint, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and W for West Point, where the government makes commemorative coins and stores gold.
Randy Lawrence moves his family from Denver to La Jolla, California in 2013. While checking out his new town, he happens upon the La Jolla Coin Shop. He tells the owner, Michael McConnell, about the bag full of error coins that he inherited from his dad, who worked at the Denver Mint.
I said, you know, I think it's time I have somebody take a look at this. Would you be interested?
Michael agrees, so Randy returns with that old baggie. Michael sorts through the contents, pausing on one silver-colored penny.
It was an off-metal coin that wasn't the weight of a normal penny.
It didn't feel right to you?
Correct. And the first thing that came to my mind was, because the U.S. Mint has struck over 1,000 different coins for over 40 different countries, that this coin was struck on a planchet meant for a foreign coin.
What's a planchet?
The planchet is a round disc of metal that the coin is actually made out of.
A U.S. penny stamped on a blank intended for a foreign coin, Michael says, might be worth a few $100s. The other coins have some value, too. So Michael makes Randy an offer for the whole collection.
What was the total price for everything?
I think I left there with a little over $2,000.
Were you happy?
I was happy with it. Love you, Dad, but you know what? I'm over it. I don't need the coins.
But the coin shop owner keeps thinking about that pretty penny. You see, there's this tale in the annals of coin history about an unusual batch of pennies the government minted in the 1970s.
The price of copper had gone up in 1973, and so it actually became not cost-effective to make the penny out of that. And so they were looking for alternatives.
Paul Montgomery tells me the story. He's a rare coin dealer and author, and he explains that the Mint's solution is to switch from costly copper to a cheaper metal.
What was the composition of them?
The coin was made out of 96% aluminum.
The Mint's proud of the coin. It strikes $1.5 million and even hands out a few to members of Congress before its release. But the aluminum penny is a bigger 70s flop than the Gremlin or the Leisure Suit.
The coins didn't work in vending machines, I guess because of the metal. Kids would swallow them and they wouldn't show up in x-rays either.
So instead of circulating the coins, the Mint melts them down, and it takes back the few it handed out. The 1974 aluminum penny becomes as elusive as the proverbial unicorn. Or maybe not.
I began doing additional research, which led me to think that it may actually be that unicorn.
The next thing he does is call a lawyer.
So what does the lawyer advise you?
He advised me to go and get the coin certified to make sure that it truly was an aluminum penny.
Tests show it is indeed made of 96% aluminum, just like those minted then melted down pennies from the 1970s.
Were you excited?
It was obviously the scarcest coin I've ever handled.
And things are going to get complicated because the heir of this strange inheritance story is about to re-enter the picture.
What's Michael offering you?
That's next.
Here's another quiz question for you. Who preceded John F. Kennedy on the half dollar? Benjamin Franklin, Alexander Hamilton, or Woodrow Wilson? The answer when we return. So, who was on the half dollar before JFK? It's A, Benjamin Franklin, from 1948 to 1963.
A baggie full of coins. That's Randy Lawrence's strange inheritance from his father, who worked at the Denver Mint. When he brings it to this La Jolla, California coin shop, owner Michael McConnell tells him the fistful of change is worth a couple of grand. After Randy takes the deal, Michael determines one of the coins, a 1974 penny, is made of aluminum. That suggests it's from a run of coins never put into circulation. If so, it's one of those finds collectors dream about. Michael knows he owes Randy, just for starters, a phone call.
People come to us because we're the experts. And so if we give somebody bad advice on something like that, we of course have to go back to them and tell them that's not right. That's not what I originally thought the coin was.
And he wanted to set up a meeting with me. So I went down to his coin shop.
What's Michael offering you?
Well, technically, he was the owner of this coin. So we worked out a 60-40 split. I took back 60% ownership. He gave me back 60% value of the coin.
So Michael buys the coin and owns it outright in your mind, but when he learns that it's more valuable, he's willing to bring you back in as a partner?
He felt that was the right thing to do.
What were Randy's options when you told him the news? What could he have said?
He could have said anything.
Could he say, give me my coin back?
Absolutely.
So for $300, he could have bought this coin back from you?
Sure.
What did he say?
After we talked about it and we talked about the options, he said, let's partner up and go forward.
How do you decide what's fair?
Well, it's kind of tough in this kind of situation, but this was a coin that had been in Randy's family for a long time. This was a family heirloom, and I was certainly happy to give that split.
I'll say, for it turns out that Randy's rare penny has one more strange characteristic that will set the coin world abuzz. That little D.
So this one has a D mint signifying it was made in Denver.
That's where Randy's dad worked.
And that is why this coin was so unique.
Because as far as anyone knows, the 1.5 million aluminum coins minted, then recalled in 1974, all came from Philadelphia, not Denver. That could lift its value into the stratosphere.
Did Michael give you a sense of what it could be worth?
Anywhere from a low end of $250,000 up to $2 million.
One coin potentially worth $2 million?
1 penny.
As co-owners of the coin, Randy and Michael decide to put it up for auction, beginning with a sneak peek at a coin expo in Long Beach, California.
It was phenomenal.
A rare coin that spent years lost in a drawer could bring in millions of dollars at auction.
We were on every television station.
And realized it might be something a little more special.
I was getting phone calls from across the country as well as seeing articles across the world, from Russia, China.
Is the price going up at this point with all that interest?
In my mind, it is.
Then, out of the blue, the postman knocks.
Well, I got a very interesting letter.
A
From
letter?
the government.
Do you have the letter?
I do. Right here.
Oh, this doesn't look good.
What's your strange inheritance story? We'd love to tell it. Send me an email or go to our website, strangeinheritance.com.
Now, back to Strange Inheritance.
In February 2014, Randy Lawrence is gearing up for the auction of his one-of-a-kind inheritance, a 1974 aluminum penny. It was left to him by his father, Harry, but now he's hearing from his Uncle Sam.
Dear Mr. Lawrence, it has come to the attention of the United States Mint that you may be in the possession or control of an aluminum 1-cent coin. It is our understanding that you may have obtained this item from your late father. Boy, they know a lot.
They sure do.
Please contact me at your earliest opportunity so we may discuss arrangements for the timely return of the subject piece. They're coming after you.
They are.
Recall that Randy's father works at the Denver Mint for 20 years. Upon retiring in 1980, he's apparently allowed to keep a bag full of error coins as part of his retirement gift.
You were convinced in your mind that your dad received this coin legally and was entitled to keep it?
Absolutely 100%.
But now, 34 years later, the government claims otherwise.
What are your options?
Well, our options was to immediately turn over the coin or do what we did, and that was to file a lawsuit against the United States Treasury to keep ownership of the coin.
The other half of we is coin shop owner Michael McConnell.
Why didn't you just turn it over to the mint?
I didn't think it belonged to them, and there certainly wasn't evidence that said it belonged to them.
The same circumstances have existed so many times in the past, and so there are precedents.
And rare coin expert Paul Montgomery believes those precedents favor Randy. Exhibit A, the super rare 1913 Liberty Head nickels, which Montgomery wrote a book about. His research indicates they likely were struck by a rogue mint worker, just as the government's claiming in Randy's case.
Each one of these coins have been owned and purchased in millions of dollars of traded hands, and yet the government has never gone after this. Why this one?
In their lawsuit, Randy and Michael cite other rare coins with similar histories that collectors buy, sell, and own freely. The government's response, so what? Then it ups the ante by putting on the public record serious allegations against Harry.
Accusations of my father not being of the highest standard.
For example?
Well, that he could have been the one who made the coin, or my father should have known better than to accept it and keep it.
What was the government's beef against Harold Lawrence?
Well, they suspected that Mr. Lawrence had a nefarious scheme to produce coins that weren't supposed to be produced.
Bottom line, the government is strongly suggesting that Randy's dad is a crook.
That make you mad?
Very, very angry, yeah.
Two stories, two sides of the coin. Then before the case goes to trial, the government deposes the man who headed the aluminum cent project back in the 1970s, former Mint director Alan Goldman. To Randy's great relief, Goldman's testimony exonerates his father. Under oath, the former Mint director states, "I knew Harry Lawrence very well, and he was a straight shooter. He would not have engineered this."
When I read that, I knew that my father's name was cleared.
But that's all the good news, because Goldman also bolsters the government's claim that the penny was struck improperly.
He believed that it was actually made as a practical joke by one of the Mint employees. And as far as how it came to my father, again, probably as a memento when he retired.
With no star witnesses of their own, it's going to be hard for Randy and Michael to convince a jury the coin rightfully belonged to Harry. They dropped their lawsuit.
You're willing to walk away from $2 million?
Apparently so, I did.
It seems like you caved.
At the end of the day, because there aren't enough people left to be able to tell the whole story as to how it really came to be, I felt like it was kind of a case that we weren't ever going to be able to win.
The man from La Jolla is forced to return a rare and valuable coin to the U.S. government.
The U.S. Mint declined our request for an interview about Randy's aluminum penny.
Is the government becoming more strict in that regard?
This is the first I've seen anything like this. I see the government getting very active in lots of things, but confiscating collectible rare coins has never been one of them.
This has never happened either. After receiving Randy's strange inheritance, the Mint puts it on display at a coin show near Los Angeles. Collectors press their faces against the glass to get a good look-see.
This is the first time that this coin's ever been displayed like this. And while the Lawrence family may not even know this, they've already become a tremendous piece of the history and numismatic lore.
So Randy Lawrence did not cash in his legendary aluminum penny for millions, but he did get a consolation prize of sorts. In coin-collecting circles, he and his father are now legends themselves, with the Lawrence name forever attached to the one-of-a-kind 1974 D aluminum 1-cent piece.
Your dad's reputation is restored.
Perfect. Yes.
The coin is gone.
Yes.
And you didn't make a buck.
Didn't make a penny. I say the government's taken my last penny.
Remember how a handful of aluminum pennies were handed out to lawmakers back in 1974? Legend has it that one day a congressman dropped his while rushing to vote on a bill. A Capitol Police officer tried to return it. The congressman, thinking it was just a dime, told the officer, "Keep it."
It's believed that officer's family may still have that super rare penny, but the Mint is now on record saying it would like it back, just like it wanted Randy's. I guess you could say the Mint's really pinching pennies these days. I'm Jamie Colby. Thanks for watching Strange Inheritance, and remember, you can't take it with you.